Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Courageous Conversations. My coffee is going, so that's a little bit noisy, but what the heck, we're just going to go for it. I am wanting to say that courageous conversations with yourself and others is such a massive gift you give yourself, of freedom, of freeing yourself. And if you want to join me, I would love to see you. Hi, Mike. Hi, everyone who's starting to join me. I really appreciate that. I'm going to do just a little bit of sharing. I'm sort of in Facebook jail right now and can't really share on groups. So if this topic moves you, overcoming guilt, I have done it, and I want to teach this to you because it's coming up so often in the office. And so if this topic is something that speaks to your soul, speaks to your being, please share this with your groups, with your people, because I have some good tools, 25 years doing this work, to share with you and with the world. So I'm going to just share with my pages and my own groups that I manage, but because I'm in Facebook jail, I am not able to share with other people's groups. So if you have a group that you can share this on, please share it, because this is the kind of thing that I think should be ubiquitous. I think I'm out of jail. That was my coffee. I think I'm out of jail, Facebook jail, Thursday evening, and so I'll probably share this there. But at this point, I just want to see if I can, get it out to some people and my pages and groups that I myself am on the admin. But, guilt is such a huge, massive juggernaut, I would say. I would say that guilt is the number one. I'm going to say number one, because shame is associated with guilt. Guilt brings on shame. Shame brings on guilt. I mean, these two are pretty ubiquitous, are pretty interchanged. But I really want to say that the juggernaut that is guilt for people, it just prevents them from truly, truly living their life purpose. And I have to tell you, I am the poster child for someone who has overcome and who has experienced massive amounts of guilt. And I just want to thank everyone who's joining me right now. I was telling people that are just joining me now, listen, I'm in Facebook jail for a minute. I guess I shared too much, too quick. Nothing bad, just sharing too fast, and then the bots say, she's sharing too fast, we got to clamp her down. So if you have a group that you can share this with, that I'm going to be teaching some really, 25 years in the office, I know a couple of things and my own personal work about how to overcome guilt, and I've got some really good ones. So if you've got a group that you find you could share this on, please do. This would be awesome. But let me do a little bit of sharing on my pages. Courageous Conversations, please come by and like that page. My group is called Courageous Conversations, which is a closed group where you can be sort of safe there to expose your being. Please join. I think that would be amazing. You'll have me there and amazing people there, Courageous Conversations, and also my page, Victoria Lorien Fabish Courageous Conversations. So, these are ways to connect with people on the wonderful social media that is Facebook, which is kind of a demon and an angel all in one. I mean, I love Facebook, but at the same time, my gosh, they're putting people like me in Facebook jail where we're prevented to share on groups. I don't understand that. I really, really don't. Especially if they analyze the content, which I believe they do not analyze the content. They simply see the speed at which you're sharing. So, here we go. Let's talk about guilt, baby. All right, guilt. Guilt is number one. The number one reason people are feeling guilty is because there's a story that you make in your mind that when you were a child, you got convinced of. That somehow your value or somehow your duty or somehow your obligation was to somehow please others, give to others, be of service to others. That's a very common Judeo-Christian ethic. Be kind, be giving, be loving. Hey Tara, hey Wendy, hey Susan, hey everybody. Thanks for joining me. I'm so glad you're joining me. We're taught as kids, it's better to give than to receive. It's better to, many, many family cultures are built on the concept of, the group is more important than the individual. So we give to the group because the group, and you know, these are good socialization, tenets. I don't discount that in a family culture, trying to make a family, you know, kind to one another, and all those things. So there is a very positive aspect to giving to others. You know, I'm giving of myself on the internet, so I'm all about giving. I write a chapter in my first book called Find Your Self Culture, in which the number one killer of finding your self culture, the number one killer of the self, is to be like a zombie to your guilt. And we literally, hi Christine, and the thing is that we literally are zombies. We literally will be like these zombies to kill the discomfort. I will do anything to kill my guilt. I will do anything to stop feeling this guilt. I will deny myself. I will give to you. I will sacrifice myself. I will give beyond what is healthy for me to kill the pain of the guilt. And I have people when we are working in the office that are so at the mercy of guilt, and I've been there, I have been there, that I will, you know, that people will give in a way that is harmful to them, harmful to themselves, because the pain of the guilt feels so bad. And I really want to say this, that there is you ought to weigh constantly the pain of the guilt. So this is number one tool, weighing the two concepts of the pain of the guilt and the discomfort of the guilt, and the self-loathing of giving beyond what you can give, or the shame almost of being weakened by giving in to other people's demands. I mean, this becomes so habituated that the pain of the guilt becomes more painful than the giving up on the self. But when you start to really do the work, and this is tool number 2, you have to weigh the two as tool number 1. But tool number 2 is you have to dialogue with the guilt. You have to have a conversation with the part of you that feels guilty. Can people relate to this? Does that make sense? You've got to stop long enough to go, what's this guilt about? What are you trying to tell me, guilt? You know, well, I'm afraid that my father will be mad at me, my husband will be mad at me, my mother will be mad at me, my boss will be mad at me, I'm afraid I'll lose my job, I'm afraid that I'll lose my friend, my father, my mother, I'm afraid that somehow they will be disappointed in me. It's just the worst feeling to have someone feel disappointed in you. Can you guys relate to this? If you can relate, give me some engagement and let me know what you, just even yes, or I relate, or this is something that touches my life in some way. The truth of the matter is that, so Tara says, I have people in my life who do this and then need endless thanks for everything that they do. Ooh, yeah. And it's kind of like a built-in sort of energy around a person that is operating from guilt, where they're just, you know, they're like there's a bottomless pit of need when we're operating from guilt. Because what the whole self-esteem is based on other people giving you this approval and this kudos and this good job. And then that piece becomes so damaging, because when it's not there, depression sets in. It's kind of like, I liken it to looking for the fast way toward feeling good. You know, crash diet to lose weight, or, you know, liposuction to lose fat, or I'm going with a ridiculous, or fast food to fill yourself, no nutrients, but like it's all sort of the cheating way of feeling good. It's sucking off of the energy in a vampiric way of other people to fill your self-esteem is what this is really about. And Tara says the I'm not good enough thing. Exactly. And the first job is the hardest job. Ambulances in Toronto. Apologies, I live in downtown. Well, I don't live in I live in Bathurst, St. Clair. Lots of ambulances. What I really want to say is that the number one job at hand is to dialogue with this guilt and really ask it, what's the worst of this? What's the worst that can happen? They will be mad at me, and that will feel painful. And I ask people to actually, to imagine the other person feeling angry at them and imagine themselves dealing with this pain in a way that is not destructive and crushing. You start to acclimatize your being to experiencing the pain of the potential rejection of another person. That is this powerful tool in which you so look at this guilt straight in the eye. And Sherry Garner says, I 100% agree. I have felt so guilty for the pain I have inflicted my bipolar disorder that I let the fear of my ex-husband taking my kids away from me, and I have felt so much shame for the pain it can inflict on my children and my family. Yeah, I mean, it's destructive, isn't it, Sherry? It is just so destructive. And it is so interesting because the truth of the matter is the shame that people feel once they give in when they don't want to give in is much worse than the guilt that people feel from saying no appropriately. And no appropriately includes, it's not a ubiquitous no. It's not a no at all costs. No, 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 I'm not going to help you. My God, the world is a better place for people helping others. Thank you. I love it. But don't empty yourself. Don't empty yourself. Don't completely destroy yourself. I heard something the other day. Don't set yourself on fire to create warmth for others. Oh my God, I love that. Don't set yourself on fire to create warmth for others, because that is the sure road to resentment. That is the sure road to resentment, folks. And resentment has a lot of shame in it. And resentment has a lot of self-destruction and then projecting that crap onto other people. You know, can you relate? Man, I can relate. I've been a few rounds with this one in my life. And because I grew up in a family that was definitely guilt-oriented. You know, there's a lot of guilting and making people feel bad for not giving, you know, to the mother, the father. You know, what's wrong with you? You should feel ashamed of yourself that you don't want this. You know, this dutiful, dutiful friend, dutiful daughter, dutiful sister, dutiful, dutiful, dutiful. But what about the person? You know, I much rather train a child to give from a full vessel, from a full place. Train yourself that if you fill yourself, if you give to yourself without guilt, without shame, with full permission, give yourself enough sleep, enough food, enough time, enough, all of those things. Joy. My God, joy is such a healer. Dance, enjoy, feel. Don't give up on that. And then create moments, times, in which you freely want to give to others, in which you desire to give to others, which that has been the elixir. That is the biggest tool to change the juggernaut pattern that is feeling guilty for taking care of yourself or feeling guilty for saying no. Wow. You know, the number one thing I see in my office when people are overcoming depression and anxiety is number one is learning to take care of themselves and to give to themselves. And this is just a first step. This is the first step. The first step is take care of self. Find out what's good for you. You know, find out what's wonderful for you. What makes your heart sing. Step number one. From that, you fill yourself. You fill. And from that, you give to others. But you're full when you give to others. You're full, you're happy, you're not resentful, you're not dreading people, you're not avoiding people. I mean, have you ever done this? Have you ever avoided someone you don't want to say no to? Have you ghosted them because you're like, I don't want to say no to them, so I'm just going to not answer the phone and I'm not going to, you know, I've done that. Who's done that? Because you're hiding, you know, I mean, there's something so freaking liberating about speaking your truth. I mean, listen, The other day I had to tell someone something. I had to have a courageous conversation with someone about something that I wanted them to please not do. And I had to say something, and I was like, I convinced myself, no, I can just, I can just let it go. But there was a part of me that said, no, you cannot let it go. You cannot let it go. You must speak your truth, or you will resent this person. And you don't want to resent this person. You want to actually have a relationship with this person. A nice, cordial friendship. But you've got to tackle this. I'm like, I stayed up till 4 in the freaking morning creating an email, carving out the gentlest possible delivery so that I wouldn't, come off as a bitch, and also be appropriate with the delivery of what it is that I wanted to say. And you don't need to have a hammer where a thumb will do with a thumbtack. Use the appropriate messaging. Gentle, kind, loving, reasonable, open, to deliver my no, to deliver my, that doesn't work for me. Can you please, my ask is that you change this. And it really freaking tortured me because I'm still doing this work myself. Okay? And if I can do it, you can do it. And so I delivered I pressed send, and the thing is that no matter how kind and gentle you are with someone, putting someone or saying something to someone that is, listen, you gotta not do this, is never going to be comfortable for them. People are going to get their backs up. But if they feel the vibration and the energetic and the intention of love and positivity, you know what's going to happen, or what often happens, is people are going to receive you well. And they're going to feel your energetic intention behind the no, or behind that doesn't work for me. And I challenge people to this. And now, I want to not bullshit you. I like to swear sometimes. And thank you for joining me, folks that are joining me. Let me not BS you. You can be kind, gentle, loving, and all you can be is in charge of what you're delivering. But sometimes those other people, anybody will get their back up because they've got it in them that any kind of limitation or no is an affront to their being. And that's not your problem. That's not your monkey. That's not your circus. Okay? That's their problem. And usually people will come around, especially if you've made every effort to be respectful, be kind, be reasonable in your no, in your that doesn't work for me. And you have to understand, you've got to understand, please, that growth and moving past your patterns will come with it a pain, a discomfort. You have to get used to discomfort. Make friends with uncomfortability. Make friends with feeling uncomfortable as you change, as you grow. Sherry says, this is amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I give this to you with my love and my heart. Because I want people to understand that our planet needs people to be giving and loving and to be helpful. But they cannot do it with this empty vessel where they're tired, where they're resentful, where they're expecting, kudos constantly. You've got to do it from a full vessel. I went back from 5 days a week doing courageous conversations to once a week because honestly, I was just getting tired and resenting getting up to do this and putting my makeup on and blah, blah, blah. So I thought, this is ridiculous. Once a week is good. And that feels right to me. And sometimes I'm on vacation and I can't. And that's okay. So it's giving from a full vessel. The tool of dialoguing with it. Let me get the time. Yes, I'm almost done here. The tool of dialoguing with your guilt is literally sitting down. Everybody do this. Close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. And tap into the part of you that feels guilty for saying no, or standing up to someone, or drawing a boundary, or pushing back. Just feel that. Just imagine yourself the last time you did it, or a time you're going to do it, or a time that you did it in the past. Feel that. Breathe. Register where in your body you're feeling it. For me, I kind of feel it at the pit of my stomach. I get like diarrhea. I get that kind of palpitation-y feeling in there and kind of, tightening feeling. Who can relate? Where in your body? Is it your stomach? Is it your chest? Is it your shoulders? Is it your hands? You know, is it buzzing in your face? Where? Where do you feel it? When you get clear on where you feel it, I would like you to imagine that part of you is the younger part of you, the child part of you. And place that part of you in a beautiful park, on a park bench. Maybe the 6 or 7-year-old self that got it, that I gotta perform to be loved. Can anyone relate? I gotta perform for you. I gotta say yes to you always. I gotta give you what you want, or somehow you'll reject me. And that's painful as a child. I feel my energy about that. I feel sad about that. And I want you to imagine yourself putting your arm, sitting on that park bench as the adult that you are today, having gotten this information from me and from all the other places that you are getting your empowerment energy and your learning and your growing, even your prayer and your religiosity that is inspiring you and helping you. Take that energetic as the adult that you are and sit on the park bench and put your arm around that little child in you that represents your guilt, that represents your fear of rejection, that represents your fear of not being part of, if you say no, if you do not comply, or if you draw a boundary. And put your arm around that child and give it a snuggle and say, listen, I got your back now. I am with you now. I am with you now. And you need to tell this child that we are no longer this disempowered, no power, no option child. We are adults, and we have a right to like ourselves, to value ourselves, to fill our own cup, to say no. And this is the beginning of the healing, the beginning of the new way to relate to the discomfort of an organic no that shows up that you need to deliver to someone. And you will want to avoid it. You will want to not say the no, but it'll plague you, it'll plague you, it'll plague you, and it will create tremendous amount of resentment and another much more severe pain. And it'll be the pain that you betrayed yourself. It'll be the pain that you betrayed you, as opposed to the pain of standing up for you. And when you weigh these two out, I'm back to weighing these things out. When you weigh out the pain of self-betrayal and the pain of standing up for yourself, I will tell you that the pain of self-betrayal will be much bigger than the pain of standing up for yourself. And that is the journey that I want you to go on, and no longer be at the mercy of this juggernaut that so many of us feel, which is guilt of saying the no, the pushing back, the drawing the boundary. Okay? So please continue to have courageous conversations. Please continue to share. I'm in Facebook jail until Thursday. So share this video if this resonates with you, because you're going to help people. Share in groups, share in your own community. Share it ubiquitously. I will share it as much as I can, but right now I can't share it. I'll just share it on my own pages. And I want you to understand that you matter. You're worth it. You're amazing. And fill your own cup. Give to others from a full vessel, okay? And I want you to have a courageous conversation with yourself. Have a courageous conversation with another person. That is not easy. That is not easy. And continue to weigh the two. Am I going to give in to the pain of guilt of saying no? Or am I going to give in, or am I going to suffer the torture of the pain of self-betrayal? All right? Love you. Love you, love you, love you. Mwah. All right, take care. And lots of fun things coming down my way, and I'm going to share them with you. Lots of good things coming where I can't wait to tell you all the great things that are coming my way. So talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye for now.